Hi guys, welcome back to nitahcrochets. My name is Anita. I have seen this inspiration top on my Pinterest and I've also checked it out on Instagram, and I think the original designer is Charlie Store. So I am trying to make this my version and I've named it the Rope Muse top. So we are going to be making this. Unfortunately, I can only say that I can make it in size small. I haven't tried it out in any other sizes, and I can't promise you guys that want larger sizes that we can have this as yet. Okay, so what we need for this project is very simple. I'm going to be working with this yarn. It's Robin 100% acrylic. The strands of my yarn are really thin, that's why I'm going to be doubling my strands. But if you're working with any size 4 yarn, one strand should be okay. Then I'm working with a 3.5 millimeter hook. Honestly, I would love so much if you are not that loose crocheter, because if you are that loose crocheter, then we are going to have breast caps that kind of like sag, and we don't want that. So to start off, I am going to chain. I will chain 12, okay? Yeah. I will chain 12. I have been trying to see if I can make this in a size medium. It's kind of tricky, so I have first put that on pause. So when you chain 12, you are going to get into the third chain stitch from the hook and work a double crochet. So the two chains are just our turning chains. They do not act as a double crochet, guys, okay? Then I'm going to work one double crochet into the next stitch. And I'll continue working one double crochet into every stitch all the way until I have one stitch to end the row. Okay, so that means I'm going to work a total of 9 double crochets into the next 9 stitches. All right, so you do that until you have one stitch left to end the row right there. That's where I'm going to meet you, then show you what to do. Now, like you can see, I have one stitch left to end the row. You see right there. So what I'm going to do into that very last stitch, I am going to work 2 double crochets. So that's 1. Then I'll go in for the second double crochet. Right there. Those are 2. And then I'm going to chain 1. Once again, work 2 double crochets into that very same stitch. Just like that. So we have 4 double crochets into that last stitch. Now this helps us to turn. It's more like just to help us turn, because we are going to be working the next stitches on the opposite side of our foundation chains. So what I've done with my stitch markers, I've just put them into the chain 1 space that we worked, that we just previously worked. Now I am going to get into the chain stitch on the opposite side of my foundation chains, and I'm going to work 1 double crochet into each one of them. So you work 1 double crochet into every stitch on the opposite side of the foundation chains until the end of the row, and you should have a total of 9 double crochets. Yes, you should have a total of 9 double crochets. So let me meet you guys there, then I'll show you what to do. And here we are. We are almost there. So what we are going to do, we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. The 2 chains don't act as a stitch, it's just our turning chains. Now I am going to work 1 double crochet into the very first stitch, and then I am going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until I have a total of 10 stitches. Until I have a total of 10 stitches, okay? So just work your 1 double crochet. Once you have a total of 10 stitches, I'm going to get back and tell you what to do. And we are here. We have 10 stitches. So what we are going to do next is we are going to yarn over and we are going to get into the next stitch and work 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch. Okay, you see that? Now what we are going to do next is, I'm just going to get my stitch marker so that I put it into in between the 2 double crochets, just right there, because these are the points that are going to be like our corners. They're going to be like our corners, so that's why I'm trying to mark them. Now we are going to take out our stitch marker from the chain 1 space that we worked recently, and into that chain 1 space once again we are going to work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets once again, all in that very same stitch. Okay, there you go. Now we are going to put back our stitch marker into the chain 1 space. Then what we do next is, into that next stitch right there, we are going to work 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch. So we go in for the second double crochet, and I'm just going to get my stitch marker and put it in between those 2 double crochets that we have just worked in that stitch right there. Okay, now once I have that, I am now going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of the row. So I'm going to let you do that on your own. Just work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of the row, and I'm going to meet you on the next row and tell you what to do. This is how your work should look like. So let's get on to the next row. We are going to chain 2 turn our work. The 2 chains, remember, do not act as a stitch. So now what we are going to do next is we are going to work 10 double crochets into the next 10 stitches. Okay, so that means I'm going to be working 1 double crochet into every stitch until I have a total of 10 double crochet stitches. Okay, and that's where I'm going to meet you guys, then tell you what to do. Here we are, we have 10 double crochets. Okay, like you can see. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to take out the stitch marker and I'm going to get into that next stitch, which was the one I had put my stitch marker into, and I'm going to work 2 double crochets in there. Then I'll put back my stitch marker in between the 2 double crochets. Now from here I am going to work 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches. So that means I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way for the next 3 stitches. There we go. So yes, I've worked my double crochets. Now I'm going to take out the stitch marker from the chain 1 space right there, and now I am going to get into the chain 1 space and work 2 double crochets, chain 1, work 2 double crochets once again, all in that very same stitch. This is like the tip of our cap, but it's going to be at the bottom though. It's not going to face up. Once you have that, now you're going to work, I'm just putting this back into the chain 1 space. So once you have that, you are going to now work 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches. And once you have all 3 stitches, you're going to take out your next stitch marker. Okay. I'm going to take it out. And into that stitch I am going to work 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch. There you go. Then I am going to put back my stitch marker into that in between the 2 double crochets I just worked, And now from here I'm just going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of my row. Okay, so just work 1 double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row, and I'm going to meet you there, then tell you what to do. From here we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. Like I said, the chain 2 does not act as a stitch, so it's just our turning chains. And then what we are going to do here is we are going to work 10 double crochets into the next 10 stitches. So that means I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until I have a total of 10 stitches. So let me let you do that, then I'm going to get back and tell you what to do. Now here we are, I have my 10 stitches, so I'm going to take out that stitch marker. Okay, I'm going to take out the stitch marker. I'm just counting this to make sure it is that. I'll take out my stitch marker, and into that stitch I'm going to work 2 double crochets all in that very same stitch. And then I'll put back my stitch marker. Next is I'm going to work 6 double crochets into the next 6 stitches. So that means I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 6 stitches. So let me meet you guys there and tell you what to do. So we are here, and I'm going to take out the stitch marker from the chain 1 space, like you can see. Into that chain 1 space I'm going to work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets all in that very same stitch. So I'll also get my stitch marker and put it back into the chain 1 that I've just worked right now. Then I'm going to do the very same thing I did previously, work 6 double crochets into the next 6 stitches. No, actually this time it's 5 double crochets into the next 5 stitches, I think. Yeah, so once you have all 5, it will get you to the next the marked stitch on the other end. So there you go. Into that marked stitch I am going to work 2 double crochets all in that very same stitch, and once I have finished with that, I'm now going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. So I'm going to let you do that on your own. Let me meet you in the next row. Now here I am going to chain 2, turn my work. The 2 chains do not act as a double crochet stitch, they're just our turning chains. Okay, I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch, work 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 11 stitches. So that means you're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch until you have a total of 11 stitches. So let me let you get there, then I show you what to do. So here we are. I'll take that out. Okay, I have 11 stitches already. Now what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to work 2 double crochets, and I'm going to get my stitch marker and put it back in between the 2 double crochets. And then I am going to work 8 double crochets into the next 8 stitches. So do that, and then I meet you there all the way until that, So now I've worked all the way until that chain gap right there. And here I am going to get into that chain gap, and I'm going to work 1 double crochet. So I am no longer working the 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, because I no longer think I need this corner anymore. Now I'm going to get into the next 8 stitches and work 8 double crochets. So that means I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 8 stitches. Oh no, for the next 9 stitches, guys, 9. Work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until you have a total of 9 stitches. Let me meet you there, then show you what to do. Now here I am going to get into that next chain, that next stitch, remove my stitch marker, and in there I'm going to work 2 double crochets all in that very same stitch. Then I'll get my stitch marker and put it back into the stitch in between the 2 double crochets. Then from here I am going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of my row. So let me let you guys work your row until the end, and I'm going to meet you there, then show you what to do on the next row. Guys, I'm sorry for the noise in the background. My baby is sleeping close to me and I'm trying to voice this so I get it, I get it through. So once you hear anyone snoring, it's not me, it's this child that is always around me. So do this until the end. Let me meet you in the next row. So here we are. I've come to the end of my row. This is how my work looks like. You can see that the bottom is starting to fold, and that's what we are looking for, because our cap is going to be facing down, not as it usually does facing up. So for this row we are going to chain to turn our work, and remember the 2 chains don't act as a double crochet. We are going to work 11 stitches, and I'm going to meet you after you have 11 double crochets. So that means we are going to end up at the stitch close to the marked stitch. So let me meet you there, then show you what to do. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker. Into that marked stitch I'm going to work 2 double crochets all in that very same stitch, and then I am going to work 18 double crochets into the next 18 stitches. So that means I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 18 stitches. What does this mean? It means I'm going to work my double crochets until the stitch closes to that, and then into the marked stitch I work 2 double crochets, and then after that I'm going to work 1 double crochet until the end of the row. So for the next row I'm going to chain 2, get into the marked stitch that will be on that row, work 2 double crochets, then work 1 double crochet into every stitch until the marked stitch on this other side. Into that marked stitch you work 2 double crochets, then work 1 double crochet until the end of the row. So I'm going to meet you after those 2 rows are complete, this and the next row, just to show you how my work looks like. This is it. Okay, I worked the other row that I left you guys on, and then worked another row on top of it, and I have a total of 7 rows. So I'm just going to show you how to work the final row, and then I will tell you what to do next. So the final row is also not any different from what we have done. It is just that we are going to now be working single crochets instead of double crochets. So what we do is we chain 1, turn our work. We are going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch until the marked stitch, and then into the marked stitch we are going to work 2 single crochets all in that very same stitch. Then we shall continue with 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until the marked stitch on the other side. Into that marked stitch right there on this other side we work 2 single crochets, then work 1 single crochet until the end of the row. So let me let you guys do this, and then after you do this, follow the very same steps we have done for all the rows that we have to make your second breast cap. Okay, so I'm going to meet you there, then show you what to do. I've come to the end of my row. Now before you work your second breast cap, here is an extension that we are going to just work on the side of our cap, that you need to also do for your second breast cap. Now for the extension on the side of my cap, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, I think 7, yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to get into the 6th chain stitch from the hook. I'm just putting back my stitch marker into the 2 single crochets I worked because I need to identify where the corner is right there. So I'm going to get into the 6th chain stitch from the hook in there, and I'm going to work 1 double crochet, then I will work another double crochet into that very same stitch, work another double crochet. So basically I need to have 4 double crochets all in this very same stitch. There you go. Now I'm going to skip what should be the first stitch, also skip the second and the third. Now I'm going to get into what is the 4th stitch on the last row of my breast cup, and in there I'm going to work a slip stitch. Okay, I chained 1, then worked a slip stitch, guys. Okay, so I'm going to work 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches. So that is 1, and then that's the second one. And I'm going to turn my work, chain 1, turn your work. Okay, then I'm going to skip 2. I'm going to skip 2, that chain that I worked, and then also skip the next double crochet that I worked. Okay, so I'm going to skip 2, get into the second double crochet of the 4 double crochets that we worked, and in there I'm going to work 4 double crochets all in that very same stitch. So you work your 4 double crochets all in that very same stitch. And I will chain 1. Okay, and then get into the 3rd chain stitch of the chains that started the previous row. In there I'm going to work actually the 4th chain stitch of the 6 chains that started the previous row, and in there we'll work a double crochet. Now here I am going to chain 4, which acts as a double crochet and a chain, turn my work, and I'm going to skip 2, get into the second double crochet of the 4 double crochets that you worked in the cluster, work 4 double crochets in there, so those are 3, now 4. Then I'm going to chain 1 and skip the next 3 stitches. Then onto the row of my breast cup I'm going to skip 2 and get into the next stitch and work a slip stitch. Then now here I'm going to work 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches on the body of my breast cup, turn my work, chain 1, turn your work. Then I will skip 2, work 4 double crochets into that next stitch. You work 4 double crochets all in that very same stitch. And then once you have that, you chain 1 and work 1 double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the previous row. So we get in there and work our double crochet, sorry. You see what we have? Now chain 4, which acts as a double crochet, chain 1, turn your work. You will skip 2 and get into that next stitch and work 4 double crochets in there. So once you have all 4 double crochets, you're now going to chain 1 and skip 3, then get onto the body, the stitches on the body of your breast cup, and there you're going to skip 2, then work a slip stitch into that next stitch, which should be the marked stitch. Okay, so you work your slip stitch into what is the marked stitch on the body of your yeah, breast cup. Now from here, because I want to create a corner, I'm going to chain one, turn my work, and I'm going to skip 2, work 4 double crochets into that next stitch. All in that very same stitch, I will work my 4 double crochets. Then I will chain 1 and work and skip 3, and then work 1 double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the previous row. Chain 1, work a double crochet in there. And then you are going to chain 4, which acts as a double crochet, chain 1, turn your work, and here you are going to skip 2 and work 4 double crochets into that next stitch. Once you have 4 double crochets, you're going to chain 1 and skip 3 and then work a slip stitch into the very same stitch at the corner right there of your breast cup. You work a slip stitch in there, then cut your yarn, and you will weave in your ends later. So these 3 being worked in this one stitch is just to help us curve, give us that curve, okay? That's what I was looking for. So here you're just going to cut your yarn and follow the very same steps for everything that we have done to make your second breast cup with the extension of what we have done on it. So we have 2 of these. So we are here and I have my 2 breast cups. Like you can see, they both have that extension on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay them down flat like this and make sure the extensions are on opposite sides, like they're not facing each other but rather on the far end, okay? Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an extension in between these breast cups that is going to build the underbust of my top, okay? So I'm just going to get my stitch markers and put them into the other corner of each breast cup. If you remember where we worked our 2 single crochets, is exactly where I'm putting my stitch markers. This is just to help me see where the corner is so that I know what to do when I get there. Now we are going to start building our underbust, but we are starting from the center of the cleavage. So I'm going to insert my hook into the very last stitch on one breast cup, pull through my yarn, and I'm going to chain 3. Yeah, chain 3. 2 and make sure you have all 3 chains. Then what we shall do is we are going to get onto the very last stitch on the opposite breast cup in there and work a slip stitch in it. So you work a slip stitch, and now we are going to work, let me see, yeah, we are going to work 2 slip stitches. Actually, we are going to work 3 slip stitches into the next 3 stitches on the body of this breast cup. So that's 1, 2, and then we go in for the 3rd, 3. So once we have 3, we shall chain 1, turn our work, okay, then I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to get into the 2nd chain stitch of the 3 chains that we just worked previously when joining the 2 breast cups together. So I'm going to get in there and work a double crochet, and then I will work another double crochet into that very same stitch, work my 3rd double crochet, and then go in for the 4th double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to skip 2 double crochets, sorry, 2 stitches on the body of my the breast cup, then get into that next stitch and work a slip stitch. Okay, so that's how it has to look like. Then on this very same breast cup, I'm going to work 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches, chain 1, turn my work, chain 1, turn my work, and then I'm going to skip 2. I'll skip 2 and work 4 double crochets into that next stitch right there. So we work 4 double crochets all in that very same stitch. This is something we have done for the extensions that we have worked on either breast cups, so it's not any different so far. And then here we shall chain 1 and skip 3. Then we skip 2 on the edge of our breast cup. We skip 2 stitches, then work a slip stitch into the next stitch. Okay, then we shall work 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches, chain 1, turn our, sorry, 3 slip stitches into the next. Oh no, guys, you work your slip stitch into the, you skip 1 on the body of your other breast cup, you skip 1 stitch and work a slip stitch into the next stitch. Okay, then after that you're going to work 3 slip stitches into the next 3 stitches and turn your work. All right, and then here you skip 2 stitches and work 4 double crochets into the second double crochet stitch of the cluster that you worked previously. And once you have all 4, you will chain 1 and then count 2 stitches on the body of your opposite breast cup, then work a slip stitch into the next stitch. Okay, just like that. Then here you work 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches, then chain 1, turn your work, we skip 2 stitches and work 4 double crochets into the next stitch. And once you have all 4 double crochets, you're now going to skip the next 3 stitches, then also skip 1 stitch on the body of your breast cup and then work a slip stitch into that next stitch right there. Okay, so this is how it looks like so far, and we are almost at the corner. Now from here we are going to work 3 slip stitches into the next 3 stitches. That means we end up into the marked stitch. We end, yeah, the 3rd stitch will be in that marked stitch right there. And here we shall chain 1, turn our work, skip 2 and work 4 double crochets into the second double crochet stitch of the cluster right there. You work 4 double crochets in there, and then once you have all 4 double crochets, you're just going to chain 1 and work a slip stitch into the marked stitch on the opposite breast cup. Okay, so you work your slip stitch in there. Now what happens from here is we are going to cut our yarn and weave in our ends. Then I'm going to get back to start working the underbust with you guys. Now we are here and I'm going to get my yarn. I'm going to insert my hook into the 3rd double crochet stitch of the 4 double crochets that started the last row on the extension of one of my breast cups on this side. I'll pull through my yarn and I'm going to chain 4. Now I'm going to skip 2 and work 4 double crochets into that next stitch. So remember, I am starting from the end of one breast cup and I'm going to be working all the way across the entire underbust. So yes, we have our 4 double crochets complete. Then here we are going to chain, let me see, we are going to chain 2, and now we are going to skip, let me just count this and see what I have to do. We are going to skip the next 2 double crochets and then the chain 1 space. Then onto the body of our breast cup, I'm going to skip 1. Okay, I'm going to skip that stitch, then get into the next stitch, okay, and work my double crochet in there. Then from here I'm going to start working the mesh, so I will chain one, skip one, work one double crochet into the next stitch, chain one, skip one, work a double crochet in the next stitch, and I'm going to do this until I have one stitch to the corner of my underbust. Now I'm right here and I have, as you can see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I have one stitch to the marked stitch that I had at the corner. So here I'm going to chain 2 and I'll skip that stitch, and then also skip 2 stitches and get into the second double crochet stitch of the cluster at the center of my cleavage, and in there I am going to work 3 double crochets. Okay, I'll go in with the 3rd double crochet and I will chain 1, then work 3 double crochets once again, all in that very same stitch. So once you have that, you're going to chain 2. See what we have. So you're going to chain 2. Excuse me. You're going to chain 2, and once again from the marked stitch you skip 1 stitch and get into the next and work a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, and you do this until you have 1 stitch to the corner on the other end before the extension that we have. So let me meet you there. So like you can see, I have 1 stitch to the corner, so I'm going to skip all those stitches and get into the second double crochet stitch of the cluster, and in there I'm going to work 4 double crochets all in that very same stitch. Then I will chain 1 and skip 1, sorry, and skip 2, work a double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the last row of the extension here. Just like that. So we have our very first row for the underbust, and this is how it looks like. And we have literally gotten started on our top. So to work my next row is where I'm going to start having the decrease that gives us that converging kind of shape at the bottom of our underbust. So I'm going to chain 4, turn my work. It acts as a double crochet, chain 1, and I'm going to skip 3 stitches and work I'm going to skip 2 stitches and work 4 double crochets into the second double crochet stitch of the 4 double crochets that you worked for your cluster previously. And once you have that, you are now going to chain 2. You are going to chain 2 and skip 3. No. Skip 1, 2, and 4. Yeah, you're skipping 4 and getting into that very first double crochet. Now here you work an incomplete double crochet, then yarn over, skip 1, get into that next double crochet stitch and work an incomplete double crochet. So you have 3 loops on your hook, then chain then yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops on your hook. So this gives us a decrease because it's an inverted V. Then here we are going to chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch, and you're going to do this for all the mesh boxes that you have until you are at the end of the mesh boxes you have. so you previously had until you are right there. That's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do. Like you can see, I am now going to chain 2, and I'm going to skip all these 5 stitches and get into the chain 1 space, and I'm going to work 3 double crochets all in this very same stitch. Chain 1, 3 double crochets once again in that very same stitch, and then chain 2. You skip all those and get into that double crochet stitch right there. You work your double crochet, then chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch. So you do this until you have 2 mesh boxes to end your mesh row. Okay, like you can see, I have 2 mesh boxes, so that what I'll do is I'll chain 1, skip 1, get into that next double crochet stitch, and I'll work an incomplete double crochet, then yarn over, skip 1, get into that next double crochet stitch, work an incomplete double crochet, then yarn over, work, pull through all the 3 loops on your hook. Then after that you're going to chain 2 and skip 5, work, oh no, skip 3, skip 4, yeah, work 4 double crochets into the second double crochet stitch of the 4 double crochets that you worked previously. Then here you chain 1 and get into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the previous row, then work a double crochet. So you can see that we are only working, I don't know why I keep running out of my camera view, I don't know, I'm working with a new tripod, guys. And even for my alpine crochet shorts tutorial, someone complained about me getting out of the view, and I'm still learning, guys. I just hope I don't mess this up. But yeah, this camera, this tripod is kind of more convenient for me to work with, unlike the one that I had. So let me just learn from these tutorials on how to use it, then you know, I'll come back like a pro. For the next row, I'm going to chain 4 to turn my work. Like I said, it's a double crochet, chain 1, and then I'm going to get into the second double crochet stitch of the 4, which was the cluster, and I'm going to work 4 double crochets in there, which I have done. Then next I'm going to chain 2, and now I'm going to get into the decrease that I worked and work an incomplete double crochet, then skip 1, yarn over, get into that next double crochet stitch, work an incomplete double crochet, then yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops on your hook. So we also have a decrease right there. And then here I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch. I'm working this row with you guys. I may work the next row with you guys as well, and then I'll let you guys work the rest of the rows on your own. Just get the concept. The concept is we need to have a decrease when starting the mesh, the area of the mesh stitch, and also when ending the area of the mesh stitch. Okay, so yeah, we are going to work 1 double crochet into every, sorry, we are going to chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, and you're going to do this until you finish off your mesh, the mesh area of your underbust. Okay, so that's how it looks like so far. And next here is we are going to chain 2, get into the chain 1 space right there and work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets once again, all in that very same chain 1 space. You see what we have? Then here we shall chain 2 and get into that next double crochet stitch, work a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch. So chain 1, skip 1, do this repeatedly until you have 2 mesh boxes to end your row, to end the mesh stitch area. So you do this until you are right there when you have 2 mesh, okay, yeah, let me say 3 mesh boxes, because the other one was a decrease, that's why I'm not counting it, but yeah, it counts as well. So you do this all the way. I'm going to work one more, so you chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into that next stitch. Yeah, so like you can see, we have 3 mesh boxes to end our row. We have that, and that. So we chain 1 and skip 1, get into that next double crochet stitch and work an incomplete double crochet. Then chain 1 and skip 1, get into the very last, mesh box right there, the very last stitch, sorry, and work an incomplete double crochet. Then yarn over, pull through all the 3 stitches, all the 3 loops on your hook. Then from here you will chain 2 and get into the second double crochet stitch of the cluster of 4 double crochets that you worked, and in there you're going to work 4 double crochets, then chain 1, work a double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the previous row. So guys, there is really nothing so hard about this top, honestly. You just need to learn that we have to have a decrease when ending the mesh area and when starting the mesh area. So you're just going to repeat what we have been doing. Work your 4 double crochets. When you get here, you chain 3, work a double crochet. That means you have a decrease. Work your mesh boxes as you should. When you get here, you decrease just like I have showed you. Once you have like 2 mesh boxes to end your row, you work your decrease and also keep working your clusters at the extension of your top. And this is how your work should look like after working several decreases and you have your mesh area, decreased all the way to having just 1 V. This is how your work should look like. Okay, so once you have come to the end of your row, just like now I am just going to chain 4, turn my work, which works as a double crochet, chain 1, and I'm going to get into the second double crochet stitch of the 4 double crochets, and I'm going to work 4 double crochets in there. Okay, so here I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to skip all these stitches and just get into the chain 1 space right there, and in there I'm going to work 3 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, like you can see. And then I'm going to chain 1 and work 3 double crochets once again, all in that very same stitch. Okay, then I will chain 2 and skip all those stitches, get into the second double crochet of the 4 double crochets right there and work 4 double crochets into it. Then I will work 1 double crochet into, I will chain 1, work a double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the previous row. So this is how I end my underbust. What is left is I'm going to be working along the edges of my underbust before I start working on my straps. But so far this is how your work looks like. This is how it should look like. And I hope you're loving this stitch pattern. I hope you're loving making this top. I hope it is coming easy for you, and I hope I did not leave any of you behind. There is going to be a written pattern for this on my online shop, so care so much to purchase it. Honestly, I really want to thank each and every one, more so those ones that pay for membership on my channel, those ones that give me super thanks, those ones that keep watching my every tutorial, the ones that look out for me for the times that I am not present and not consistent at content creation, and they just look out for me just to ask, are you okay? I am so grateful for you guys. Honestly, I don't take that for granted. I don't know, I think this is what I had to start with. But yeah, in my next tutorial, I'll officially thank the most of you, for real, for real. You really, really, like, remind me to get up and just do what I love, even when I, like, sometimes you guys realign me. So I'm going to be working along the edge of my top, the edges of my top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up into the very first stitch on the edge, and I'll pull through my yarn and work 2 chains which don't act as a double crochet. Now what I'm going to do, into every double crochet post, which was the chain 3 that started the row, or the double crochet that ended the row, along all this edge of the extension, I'm going to be working 3 double crochets in there. So like you can see, I'm getting into that next gap, which is of the double crochet post, and I'm working 3 double crochets all into that very same gap. You see that? So you do this until you get to the corner. The corner is the second row of the cluster that we worked of the 3 that were at the corner. Okay, right there. That's where our corner has to be. Okay, because there were 3, but the second one is like our corner. So I'm going to get one of my stitch markers and just mark it right there, so that when I get there, I know exactly how to maneuver. So I'm just going to let you work 3 double crochets into every gap that you see right there until the corner. Then I'll meet you there, then show you what to do. So I am going to get right into that stitch itself where I put my stitch marker. Let me just take it out. So I'm just going to get right into that very same stitch right there and work a double crochet. Okay, then I will chain 1 and work another double crochet in there. So that's how I have passed through the corner to just create another like corner for me to know that this is where my straps have to end, like the extension for my straps. Now from here I'm going to resume 3 double crochets into every gap or double crochet post. I don't know what to call this, but these were double crochet posts previously, and right now they look like gaps. So we are just going to be working 3 double crochets in there for all of them, all the way down until I get to the corner, and I'll meet you at the corner at the bottom of your underbust just to show you what to do when you get there. Right there is the corner, so I'll meet you there. Here we are. I am at the corner, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get into that gap at the corner, and I'm going to work my 3 double crochets. Then I will chain 1 and then work 3 double crochets once again into that very same gap. So that's how I have maneuvered this corner. And then from here I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until the next corner, or the gap at the next corner. So that means I'm going to go into those 4 double crochets and work 4 double crochets into all 4 stitches. So that means I work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way, and then I get to the chain 2 space and work 2 double crochets in there, right there. I'm going to work my 2 double crochets, and then I will work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way across, work 1 double crochet all the way into the chain gap. You work 2 double crochets right there. then your 4 double crochets. Now when you get to this gap here at the corner, you do the very same thing we did. Like you can see, I am at the gap at the corner, and I'm going to do the very same thing I did for the previous corner. I'm going to get in there and work 3 double crochets and then chain 1 3 double crochets, all in that very same stitch or in that very same gap. So chain 1 and work your 3 double crochets. Okay, so once you have that, now what we are going to resume doing is working 3 double crochets into every double crochet post along the edge. So what we did there is what we had here, and that's how the bottom of our top looks like. Now you're going to continue working 3 double crochets into every double crochet post, but remember we have that corner around the underbust, around, you know, the bottom of our cap that we marked. Please mark it and do the very same thing we did previously. Make sure that you keep that corner, just like you see I have kept the corner. Okay, so this is how your top should look like so far. Now what's left is for me to work the straps, and then we come to the end of our tutorial. So here we are, guys. I'm going to chain 2. Now this is the point where I'm going to do something different and tell you to do something different, because I tested the results and got a better result. Okay, so we are going to chain 2 and work half double crochets, 1 half double crochet into every stitch until the chain 1 at the corner. Guys, do not work a double crochet, instead work a half double crochet. Just work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until that chain 1 space at the corner right there. That's why I'm going to meet you then to show you what to do. So here we are. This is how my work looks like. Now I'm going to start working a decrease, okay, so that we can have our strap. And now what we are going to do is we are going to chain 2 and work 2 half double crochets into the first 2 stitches. You work 2, oh no, please, sorry, you work 2 half double crochets together. Work 2 half double crochets together into the first 2 stitches, and then you will work 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of your row. Please keep in mind that I am working double crochets, but I am requesting you to work half double crochets instead of double crochets. So work 1 half double crochet until the end of the row, and this is how your work should look like. Then here I'm going to chain 2, turn my work, and I'm going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until I have 2 stitches to end my row. Okay, the intention is for me to have a decrease at the bottom of my, you know, work. So I'm going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until I have 2 stitches left to end my row. Okay, that's where I'm going to meet you guys, then just show you how to end this row, then you'll work the rest of the rows on your own. So here we are, we have 2 stitches to end our row, and what we are going to do is we're going to work 3 stitches to end our row. So we are going to work 3 half double crochets together into the last 3 stitches. So if you work 2 half double crochets together on this row, the next row you'll work 3 half double crochets together when ending that row. So we just need to make sure that we keep working these decreases until we have like 3-4 stitches left on our row. So just keep repeating this. You work your half double crochets until the end, then work a decrease of 3 half double crochets together. Then the next row you start with 2 half double crochets together, so it has to converge like this and keep the upper part straight. Okay, the bottom should be converging and the upper part should be kept straight until you have 4 stitches. And then what you will do once you have 4 stitches, you are just going to chain 1 and work your double crochets into the 4 stitches. Chain 3, turn your work your half double crochets, and do that repeatedly until you have long straps that can tie to the back of your work. And then you do the very same thing on the other end of your on the other end of your work so that you have 2 straps. Now what I am going to do is show you how to work the rope. So you're going to count 5 rows from the extension of your cup, the rows that we have been working to have the decrease for our strap at the back. So the 5th is what you mark, because that's where I'm going to start working my rope from. Okay, so I'm going to get into that 5th half double crochet post, and I'm going to insert my yarn in my hook, pull through my yarn and chain 3. Then I'm going to get into that very same spot, and I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook in there, pull through a loop, and I'll do this 3 times, then pull through all the loops to have 2 loops, and then pull through all those 2 loops as well. Then I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that very same spot, and I'm going to keep pulling through a loop, yarn over, pull through a loop, and you do that 4 times. Then pull through all the loops to have 2 loops, then yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. This is how it has to look like. This is more like the puff stitch. Okay, so I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work. Okay, there we go. I'm going to get in between the 2 puffs I just worked. Okay, yarn over, insert my hook in there, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through a loop, and I'm going to do this 4 times. Okay, and then I will yarn over, pull through all those 8 loops right there, then yarn over, pull through those 2. Okay, yarn over, insert my hook into that very same spot, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through a loop. I'm going to do this 4 times as well. Yarn over and pull through all those loops to have 2 loops, then yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. You see that it is starting to form, and it's that simple. It's just working with the puff stitch. You're going to chain 3, turn your work, and you're going to get in between those 2 puffs that you have, and yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through a loop. You do this 4 times, and then you'll yarn over and pull through so that you have 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. Once again, you get into that very same spot, you yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through a loop, and do that 4 times. And then yarn over all those loops that you have on your hook, should be 8 and 9, sorry. yarn over, pull through all the 8, then have 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. Chain 3, turn your work. Get in between the 2 puffs that you worked right there. In between them, you insert your hook, pull through a loop. So this is what you're just going to keep doing repeatedly until you have a very, very long rope. Not very long, obviously, but yeah, you should have a rope that is long enough to run all the way up your shoulder, down your breast cup, your left breast cup, all the way up the left breast cup, and then all the way down the right breast cup, across the bottom of it, and all the way up the other end of the right breast cup, and all the way up your right shoulder to the back of your work. That's how long your rope should be. So I'm going to let you just do this repeatedly until you have a rope long enough as that I have described, and then I'm going to get back just to show you how to attach your rope onto your work and also create straps for your work. So guys, I have my rope, and it is this long, it is this long, and I'm going to now just show you how to attach it onto your work to create that final effect that we are looking for this top. And literally, this is the most, I think it gives this top life. It just gives this top so much life. So here we are. We have it. I am going to count 19 puffs. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just count 19. And and the 19th puff is the one that I'm going to attach to my breast cup. Not the extension, guys, just the breast cup. Okay, it's what I'm going to attach right here and start hand sewing from the 9th. So that I've not attached is actually what is going to go over my shoulder. Now to start off, I'm going to insert my yarn needle into that 19th puff. I think it's preferable to start from the back like that. Yeah, and I'm going to pull through my yarn. And I really can't say there is a technique on hand sewing that I have to use, but whichever way you hand sew your rope onto your work, just make sure that it is fully attached. It is not going to come out. And also make sure that you're hand sewing the, like, oh God, this is so hard to explain. Just run your stitches in the middle of the puffs, if I may be specific. If I may be specific, I just want your stitches to run in the middle of these puff stitches so that it's not visible how you hand sewed the rope onto your work. Like someone can't tell it was hand sewed. So it gives the illusion that, oh, you worked everything all together and it just came out perfectly like that. So just watch the technique that I'm using to see that I keep at the center of my I keep my stitches at the center of the puff stitches that I have, so that it doesn't show anywhere of how I got the rope onto my work. Okay, so it's really simple like this. I can't believe something simple took me an hour to explain to you guys. I hate it when my tutorials go over an hour, because I feel like most of you are going to lose interest in the first 20 minutes of watching. Yeah, so you're just going to insert your needle and make sure you are attaching both the cup onto the rope, although you're coming through from the back, and then running to the front like that, and then you pull through. So the next stitch, you're going to run from the front. Sorry, you're going to run from the back like that, but let me show you. After this, the next is you're going to run from the front. Start from the front all through the back, and then come back through the front like that. So this is the only way you're going to achieve what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So next is, yeah, you run through the front. Just make sure the rope is running just across, like all along the edge of your breast cup. So the next is you run through the back and come through the front like that. And then the next is you run through the front and come through the back and come back through the front again. Okay, so that's how you're just going to keep hand sewing, but just make sure your stitches are kept in between the puffs and they don't have to show. Okay, so you just keep placing your rope in that manner, running it along only and only your breast cup, only and only the breast cups, guys. Okay, so I'm going to let you just hand sew this all the way. You can see this is already attached very well, so do this, and then when you get here, you fold it like this, and then run it all the way up your breast cup, then fold it right there, fold it, and then run it once again along the edge of your breast cup once again, just like that. You fold it. It is even actually much more better if you pin it. So when you get here, okay, make sure that the puffs that you have left are exactly what you left for your strap on the other side. They should be 18, okay, right there. So attach that, so, and also count your puffs to make sure that they're 18, just to give you the very same length. If they're not 18 or they are more, you can undo some of them. And then after that, you're going to hand sew this end to the 5th or the 6th row on your strap extension. So this is how your work should look like, or this is how it would look like when everything is complete. Okay, and yeah, thank you so much guys for watching. The written pattern is on my online shops, and I hope I see you in my next tutorial. This is the back. You see how attached it is. So thank you so much for watching guys. I love you.